city lights, breaking down the tide. Every wrong, every right. Got the insight, fire, and the Bama pride. When the crimson's on the line, we alone for the ride. Bama voices on the call, we gon' break it all down. Roll it up. From the rumble in the trenches to the kings of the crown. Roll it up. Yeah, the tide runs deep and the show runs strong. Jack, Jeff, Trev, keep it rolling all season long. Every snap, every play, every headline drop. If it's Bama on the field, you know we never stop. Fast take, big stakes, tide talk all day. Alabama by CFB, we don't play. Christian spirit in the air, let the good times flow. Times flow. Roll it up. Only one place to be when you love.
Good evening, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the 77th edition of Alabama Crimson Tide Live from yours truly, Jackson Johnson and Trevion Ware. Jeffrey is not here tonight because he had to take a work shift tonight, but he is definitely back with us Thursday night. But I will tell you right now, you're going to be in for a wild ride as we are going to be celebrating a birthday bash of our good buddy, Trevion Ware. And the magic he's creating all right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football and on Bama Hammer. So let's give out a little birthday sound effect. There you go, man. There we go. Had to do it because I was like, got using that for the birthday sound effects for each of our Voice of College Football people. And let me tell you something, folks. You're going to be in for a wild ride as we'll be going over our take on Caleb Edwards and how he benefits from the new tight end coach. The three position battles we got to watch for this spring. A man that we got from the Arizona Cardinals and Georgia Tech. And who says Alabama-Georgia Tech rivalry doesn't exist? And I'm going to tell you, it's a wild ride all right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football, the 77th edition. How you doing today, good buddy? And how's your birthday been so far?
Man, I can't complain, man. I'm very blessed, 27 years young today, so I'm blessed. Most definitely. It's been a cool birthday, receive love from back home, receive love from my peers out here in Alabama, and things of that nature. So I'm definitely feeling the love. I'm definitely feeling good today. Of course, I'm ready to talk some football as well, though. So definitely ready to see what's on the radar for today's episode.
There we go. And of course, like this edition of Alabama Crimson Tide Live is presented by our good buddies at FanDuel, where you can get top-notch predictions in the world of college basketball, men's and women's. Way too early college football predictions, NBA predictions as soon as the NBA games are back in time from All-Star break. Way too early Major League Baseball predictions and much more. And, if you were creating a parlay for this week, Trevion, what would it be exactly?
That's a good question, man. Obviously, with the NBA coming back, a lot of these players, some players coming off vacation, some players coming off of rest, looking to start the second half of their season. So I'd be looking at a player like Luka Doncic, for example, off the Los Angeles Lakers. He sat out the final 2 weeks of the NBA first half of the regular season. And he played sparingly in the All-Star game. So I'm thinking he's saving that up for the second half of the season. So I see the Los Angeles Lakers. They'll be opening up their second half of the season against. They're not on opening night, are they? I mean, on the second, on the first slate on Thursday.
Now we got the Clippers and Denver Nuggets.
Okay. Well, I can give you somebody there. Obviously Kawhi Leonard. We saw the show that he put on yesterday in the All-Star game. Put up 31 points in the All-Star game. So, and he has that consecutive streak of 20 points consecutively in 33 or whatever straight games. So I would probably lean towards putting Kawhi Leonard, putting him on the alt line for 20 points to open up the second half of the regular season. And you also got you also got Jokic over there with the Denver Nuggets, and he's always a triple-double machine. So to pair that Kawhi Leonard 20-point outline, I would probably give Jokic a double-double. I know that's kind of cheap, but that's something that he can get, and that's something that the viewers watching, they don't have to worry about. So you could put Jokic down for 10 rebounds, put him down for 15 points, and you can double up there with Kawhi Leonard and Jokic. And also Jaylen Brown's been on the tear as well with the Boston Celtics. I see the Boston Celtics are going to be squaring off against the Golden State Warriors to open up their second half. So you can put Jaylen Brown probably for about put him down for 15 points. I know it's all watered down, but these are just safe bets. I mean, I probably would tend to bet a little something crazier because I'm one of the type of people that always bets all the time. So you can put Jaylen Brown for 15 points. You can put Steph Curry down for probably three threes made. So that is a 4-man parlay of Kawhi Leonard 20 points, Nikola Jokic 15 points and 10 rebounds. Then you got Kawhi Leonard down for I said Kawhi Leonard. Then you got Jaylen Brown down for 15 points. You can put Steph Curry down for 3 threes. So that's a 4-man parlay. I'm pretty sure it'll pay out pretty well, and it's a safe bet. So that's something you can look at on FanDuel. But also if you want to dibble and dabble and make things juicier. FanDuel has all types of bets. They have alt lines. They have first player made baskets. They have over, under, spread, things of that nature. So anything you're looking for at FanDuel that they can get you squared away and ready to play. That's why you just got to go on it and check it out and see what they have. But it's definitely going to be an interesting second half of the NBA regular season. You can tap in with our partners at FanDuel for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see who could win the Eastern Conference and who could win the Western Conference, because it's going to be a wild ride to see who gets in the NBA Finals, because I swear it doesn't feel like there's a dominant dynasty of the 2020s. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely not seeing just a dominant team. I mean, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs sitting on top of the West out there out west. And then you got the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Detroit Pistons as well. But then after those 4 teams, it's kind of clutter from 3 all the way to the play-in. So, it's definitely going to be a interesting second half of the season, like I said. But FanDuel can definitely get you squared away with different types of bets, different types of things you're looking for. And it's definitely going to be some fun. So you definitely want to tap in.
A lot of fun, that's for sure. But what else is a lot of fun? Getting a new tight ends coach for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Oh, man. Coach Owens. There we go.
Yes, sir. Coach Richard Owens was officially announced by the University of Alabama that he'll be the next tight ends coach, replacing Brian Ellis. And I think this is going to be a dynamic move that probably won't catch a lot of ears as the season rolls around. It's one of those silent moves, but like I said, it's a dynamic room because Coach Owens has a strong track record at various schools. We're talking about schools like UAB, South Alabama, Arkansas, and Louisville. Yeah, in Louisville, and he has a good track record of the tight ends that he's played a part in developing them into being stars. And I wrote about that on one of my latest articles on Bama Hammer. Wrote about that. Talked about how Coach Owens played a part in a lot of tight ends developing their game and taking their game to the next level. And I think that's something that he could do with Alabama sophomore tight end Caleb Edwards. And I say that because while Coach Owens was in Fayetteville in 2010, he had a John Mackey Award winner. That John Mackey Award winner was DJ Williams. DJ Williams reeled in 54 receptions for 627 yards and 4 touchdowns. And he ended up parlaying that season into getting drafted by the Green Bay Packers in 2011 in the 5th round. But it doesn't just stop there. He also played a hand in another fellow Arkansas Razorbacks tight end. I'm talking about Chris Gradge. Chris Gradge reeled in 41 catches for 518 yards and 2 touchdowns as Arkansas's primary tight end in 2011, 2012. And that ended up helping him get drafted to the Buffalo Bills in the 7th round of the 2013 NFL draft. And then he took his talents to Birmingham, Alabama at the University of UAB. And he coached Jared Everett and Kenny Beckham, and Everett in a shortened season because UAB had some funding issues, and they ended up getting shut down back then. But yeah, that was that era. But but before that happened, he ended up getting Everett to 292 yards and 1 touchdown, and Everett off of just his unique speed, off of his unique size and attributes, NFL GMs fell in love with him, and he ended up going to the second round to the Los Angeles Rams, and he did so for the same for Kenny Beckham. Kenny Beckham also had a good season under Coach Owens. He reeled in 39 passes for 399 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was all conference USA, one of the top tight ends in that conference, and he ended up getting drafted to the Green Bay Packers in the 6th round of the 2015 NFL draft. And that's just a small track record to talk about just how effective he's been, because every time he gets a tight end of a caliber like Caleb Edwards, it tends to work out. I just said those 4 various tight ends ended up playing in the NFL, and I think that Caleb Edwards can do the same thing. We're talking about a kid that's 6'5", 245, 250 pounds, and this was what he was doing last year under Coach Brian Ellis. I mean, he was playing behind Josh Cuevas last year, but he was still effective. This is him versus the LSU Tigers, just finding his way down the seam and getting him out in open space. And him coming into his second year, I definitely think that's going to be a big part of the Crimson Tide's offense. Like I said, they're replacing Josh Cuevas, and Caleb Edwards, from a size standpoint, he definitely has what it takes to take that next step and be one of the premier tight ends in the SEC, in my opinion. I mean, all he needs is the right coaching, and I feel like Coach Owens can definitely be that right coach for him. We're talking about a kid that when he got in, he made plays. We see him versus the Missouri Tigers on the road last year in Columbia. He was doing a lot of blocking, doing a lot of the dirty work on the perimeter and stuff like that, helping out in the run game. But from a receiving standpoint, I definitely think that Coach Owens can definitely take Caleb Edwards to the next level. That's why I'm very excited about this hire, because like I said, with the track record that Coach Owens has and the talent that Caleb Edwards has coming into the second year, already being in the second year of Ryan Grubb, knowing the offense, being more comfortable, I definitely think that's going to be a matchup nightmare for SEC defenses. Like I said, because Alabama's going to need them to. I mean, of course, they're returning senior tight end Danny Lewis. I mean, Marshall Pritchard also is in the picture as well as the tight end that they got in their 2020-26 class, Max Stutter. But Caleb Edwards, I feel like he's the one. I feel like he's next up. So I'm definitely excited to see those two work together this spring, see those two work together this summer, and see those two work together this fall. And I can't wait to see Coach Owens get with Ryan Grubb so they can scheme how to get this kid open. Because like I said, every time he got open last year, every time he got the ball in his hand, it was a positive play he made. He had, last year, Caleb Edwards, he had 11 receptions for 150 yards and 1 touchdown. And that's just a small glimpse of what he can bring to the table. So getting him under with the new coach this offseason of Owens caliber, it can get very dangerous for opposing defenses this fall. So like I said, I'm very excited about this hire, and I'm ready to see it materialize to what I think it can materialize. Because if it does materialize to what I think it can materialize to, it's going to be problems for the opposing defenses, like I said, because they're not going to be able to they're going to have to play Alabama a totally different way. And plus, on top of that, you look at the type of quarterback that Alabama could potentially be starting under center, whether that's Austin Mack or Keelan Russell. He's going to be like one of their best friends, literally. Like he has a knack for finding the soft spots in the defense, and it only can get better. So, like I said, for all those reasons I listed before, I definitely am excited about the dynamic of Owens and Edwards teaming up together, because it's going to be a great thing.
I mean, when you mention the fact that he was part of that coaching staff of 2014 for UAB and part of the coaching staff in 2010, 2011 for Arkansas, where Arkansas was having magnificent seasons in those years, that tells me right then and there, we hit the jackpot. for Alabama. Like Alabama got the jackpot for tight ends. Coach.
Yeah, most definitely. Finding a coach of that caliber this late I say it's late, it's only February, but a lot of coaching changes, they tend to happen in January and stuff like that. But to add somebody with his resume to the staff, I think that's one of the most underrated moves that Alabama made this offseason, and it's going to pay off a big dividends. Like I said, him developing tight ends outside of number one, Caleb Edwards, number two, Marshall Pritchard, number three, getting Danny Lewis back on track, whether that's from a blocking standpoint or a receiving standpoint, and then getting a five-star tight end that they got, Max Stutter, getting him in the mix as well. It's definitely a great situation to have, and I think that all four are very capable of bringing some different elements to the Crimson Tide offense, and I just can't wait to see it materialize, because I'm already just looking at, like I said, Caleb Edwards last year. Every time he got the ball, I say it again, every time he got the ball, he made a play. So just imagine Coach Owens and just the way he schemes up his tight ends open, the way he knows how to get them in the middle of the field, the way he knows how to put them on certain players to create a favorable mismatch on offense. So with Ryan Grubb going into his second year and him being more confident, and Caleb Edwards being more confident, and them bringing Coach Owens along, hey, it's gonna be some problems. I'm gonna go out on record and say that now. I definitely think it's gonna be some problems. So I'm ready to see it.
Oh, there we go. We'll be rocking and rolling before we know it. I'm pretty excited about where the offense is heading going into spring practice. This is making me pretty excited. And we think it's awesome now, and as we get inch closer to springtime, man, I can't wait to see where it gets to in the season. But I'll make sure not to get ahead of myself too much.
Yeah, man, it's kind of hard not to get ahead of yourself, man. We look at the offense. I mean, I know they're returning two starters. I always bring this up, in two starters being Ryan Williams and Michael Carroll, but it's a lot of untapped talent on this offense. I mean, from the receiver position to the running back position, and then partnering Coach Owens with Coach Adrian Clem on the offensive line, and that new dynamic as well. And then plus both Austin Mack and Keelan Russell are very capable of doing the distributing the ball the way that they do. So, it's kind of hard not to get ahead of yourself, but we just got to wait and see. But it's a lot of talent on this offense, and it's going to be a lot of people that's probably going to be surprised with how they're operating and stuff like that. But it won't be a surprise to us. So
no,
that's why we're just telling you now. But everything just got to materialize the right way. But if it materializes the right way, boy, it's going to be, I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell them.
Man, we're going to be rolling. We're going to be rolling before we know it.
Mm-hmm.
But, of course, before we get to our next segment, we've got the merch store all right here on the Voice College Football Network at vocfb.shop/.4ball.com/collections/Alabama, as we've got the Alabama merch store for the VOCFB network, as we've got the hats, the t-shirts, the sweatshirt, the polo shirt, the game day mug, the tumbler cup, and the can cooler. That polo shirt, I tell you what, that looks good for springtime.
Yeah, especially spring break, man. The wind gonna be blowing. You go back, you go out of town or whatever, man. You can definitely pick up some gear here if you're looking for something, just to go out in, something to support the show, just anything that you'll be looking for. We have it on here at the Voice of College Football Alabama channel. I'm a big sweatshirt guy, so I've been saying it, but I'm gonna put in my order, man. I'm gonna give me one of those sweatshirts for sure, man. And don't worry if you just think it's all for guys. No, we got unisex. We got stuff for women as well. We got stuff for children as well. Comes in all different shades: black, gray, pink, tan. Everything you'll be looking for, we definitely got it. So you definitely want to tap in with us at the Voice of College Football on the Alabama channel.
Oh, there you go. That's what you want to get all right here on the Voice College Football Network, especially the Bama merch. I'll tell you, man, That dude wearing the polo shirt is really selling it for us. That's for sure.
No, for sure, man. I might have to do some modeling on there myself, man. Like I said, I need a sweatshirt, so I might have to call our higher ups and try to get me on the on the website. I'm joking, of course, but yeah, definitely got some good stuff on there. So tap in.
There we go. And of course, we are in segment 2 as we get ready to discuss the 3 position battles to watch for heading into the spring. And Trevion, you noted it perfectly, as it was the linebackers, the off-ball linebackers, the running back, and the wide receiver position for the Crimson Tide. Oof.
Yeah, most definitely. Those are 3 interesting positions outside of quarterback and offensive line, because those are the mainstream battles. Everybody gonna be talking about them. ESPN gonna be talking about them. CBS gonna be talking about them, and every other major network gonna be talking about them. But it's a lot of intrigue to this Alabama roster. Starting out with that off-ball linebacker position. Of course, they lost their 2 starting linebackers last year from Deontay Lawson and Justin Jefferson, and even the Kai Greenhill. They lost him as well. So it's a lot of empty seats in that linebacker room. Of course, I would think that Virginia Tech transfer Caleb Woodson would get the first crack at it, considering that he is a senior and he has a lot of experience playing college football and with the youth of this roster and stuff like that. But it's also some other players on that roster on this Alabama roster at that position as well who can make some noise. Last week we was talking about the young linebacker 5-star Xavier Griffin from Georgia. He can definitely be one of those players that can pop up and work his way into some playing time at that off-ball linebacker position. Then you talk about some other players like QB Reese, Caden Jones, Luke Mertz, Duke Johnson, and Abdul Sanders with Zay Hall, all young players, but all players that are very capable, all players that, if coached up the right way this offseason, they can also make some splashes in that linebacker room as well. So that's going to be a battle. I mean, like I said, Caleb Woodson should probably get the first crack at it, but it's still a competition at the end of the day. Still got some another linebacker spot you got to fill. So all of those guys that I listed are viable candidates to potentially see the field at that off-ball linebacker position. So I'm excited to see how that plays out with Coach Kane Warmack and Coach Chuck Morrell, and just seeing how they can get those players ready to play, seeing how they can get that position all lined up and may the best man win there. But the fun doesn't just stop there. Obviously, we're talking about the running back position as well. It's a lot of capable running backs in that running back room. Of course, Alabama did not run the football effectively last year, but there are a lot of talented running backs in that room. Starting out with obviously Daniel Hill. We're looking at Daniel Hill. We're talking about a running back that had about 6 touchdowns last year, rushing and 1 receiving, and he took about 285 carries last year. And then you obviously I got to pivot to the true freshman EJ Carrell. EJ Carrell was the number 1 running back in the class of 2026, even after reclassifying. This kid had over 30 touchdowns. He had over 2,000 yards rushing. He was able to show that he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He was able to show some promise in pass protection as well. So he can definitely be one of those players that can challenge for that starting running back position. And then, of course, you got A.K. Deer. A.K. Deer, he was probably the fastest running back on the roster last year. And he was, just going through the typical freshman stuff that all freshman players tend to go through, just learning the offense and gaining the trust of the coaches to get on the football field. But I think in year 2, A.K. Deer can definitely be a player that can make some things shake in that running back room, provide a different dynamic from a speed standpoint. And he could definitely be a player that can, help them out at the running back position. So I'm excited to see him as well. Then, of course, we got Kevin Riley. Kevin Riley he stepped up pretty early in his career at Alabama. I remember when Jam Miller was hurt the first game of the season, Alabama relied on him versus Florida State, and he had a couple good runs. And he had a couple of good catches out of the backfield and stuff like that, but he got dinged up a little bit. He missed some time last season, but he's definitely a player that can work his way into some more playing time, see some more valuable snaps. So I'm excited about him as well. And then we got the transfer from Tennessee, the transfer from Appalachian State, Khalid Keith. Khalid Keith, of course, we spoke about him when Alabama first signed him in January. We spoke about the promise that he could bring on pass protection and stuff like that. Of course, he doesn't have a lot of career snaps. I mean, I think he had one touchdown at Tennessee. He didn't really play a lot last year at Appalachian State, but he's coming back to his home state, Alabama. So I'm pretty sure that he has it on his mind to work up that depth chart and try to gain the trust of running backs coach Robert Gillespie, gain the trust of Ryan Grubb, gain the trust of Kellen DeBoer. And if he can do that, he can definitely be one of those ground and pound running backs that you can run in between the tackles with his size, him being 6 foot, 225 pounds, I believe. Yeah, he's somewhere around in that range. He's somebody that can also be a legitimate threat. I know a lot of people not seeing it, but I definitely think that he is in the mix as well. Like I said, he's in his senior year, so he definitely going to be trying to make some things shake. His football career is basically on the line, not having a lot of production his last couple years at Tennessee or Appalachian State. And then we also have the true freshman 3-star Trayshawn Brown, I believe his name is. He is another player that can provide a different dynamic. He was an athlete in high school, so he has good hands. That's always a plus at the running back position. He has some breakaway speed as well, so he could be somebody that not a lot of fans see coming, but that really doesn't matter because if the coaches if he can flash some of that potential in front of the coaches during these camp battles, he can be one of those players that can step up and get some valuable playing time. So we just listed all 6 Alabama running backs. All the running backs provide a different element to this Crimson Tide offense. So with Alabama not having a traditional run game last year, I'm definitely thinking that the competition is going to be very open, especially with this new offensive line they put in front. They're going to give each running back a chance to prove what they have. So, I mean, of course, Daniel Hill, he's the most experienced back out of the bunch, so he probably will get the first crack at the job. But still the same. And Alabama is not accustomed to just starting one back. I remember when Josh Jacobs and Josh Jacobs and Brian Robinson were there. They had like a tandem back. So, normally Alabama tends to have at least 3 solid running backs that they can lean on in different parts of the season and stuff like that. So it's really just gonna depend on who can do what best, who can pass block the best, who can obviously ball security is job security. So who can hold on to the football, who can get those tough yards, who can bounce it out outside and be a home run threat in this Crimson Tide offense. But all running backs, like I said, bring a different skill dynamic. All of them are talented. All of them are hungry, I'm sure. So that's definitely going to be another position battle that a lot of people aren't going to be looking at really. But it's definitely going to play a big factor because we saw last year with how porous the run game was. Of course, a lot of that had to do with the offensive line, but another part of that had to do with who can stay healthy. I mean, I remember Jam Miller being hurt. I remember Kevin Riley being hurt. I remember Daniel Hill didn't start out the season. He was hurt as well. So that's going to be pretty much key elements to that battle. But I'm excited to see how that battle plays out.
And another position definitely look for is the wide receiver room because we've got all these guys. We've got Noah Rogers. You're teaming up with Ryan Williams and Tyler Henderson, the Valentine's Day special right there. Lottie Brooks, Rico Scott, Derek Meadows, Sedarian Morgan, Aubrey Walker, Amari Sab, Mathis. I mean, we've got them all. We've got all these guys. It's amazing.
Yeah, then a few that you didn't list: Sedarian Morgan, Derek Meadows, 265 receivers that provide a different type of playing style to the Crimson Tide defense, allows them to target them in the red zone and go up top. So that's where their specialty could lie at. Obviously, Ryan Williams, many are expecting him to have a bounce back junior season. I'm expecting the same thing. But Noah Rogers is NC State transfer. He's somebody that is expected to fill that Jeremy Bernard role, especially with them losing Isaiah Horton at Texas A&M. He can definitely make a few splash plays and give the Crimson Tide some sure hands on third downs and help them move the chains. MJ Chargwin, he was a former walk-on. Now he just got his scholarship this past year. Not gonna say too much about him, but who knows? He could very well be in the fight as well. But still the same. It's a lot of talent on this wide receiver room. Latsir Brooks coming back for his third year. Expecting for him to have a big year as well, continue that success that he had. Rico Scott, who's looking to get more of a piece of the pie this year. Every time Alabama threw the football to him last year, he was pretty much sure-handed for the most part. He just didn't get a lot of targets. He was lost in the cluster of Jeremy Bernard and Isaiah Horton. But now, going into his junior season, he definitely has a chance to make up some ground in that receiver room and be one of those targets that you can count on weekly. So, with that being said, Alabama has about 12 receivers. They're 12 receivers deep. So, and they can only play about 7. They can probably play about 7. So, that's what
I'll tell you who I want to see play get some snaps. I want to see some snaps from Derek Meadows, and I want to see when we'll see that breakout game of Sedarian Morgan. Because I think we could definitely see Sedarian Morgan. Like Morgan, I don't know if he'll be starting, in the first half of the season, but I know we'll definitely see his name come up at some point in the middle of the 2026 season.
Yes, sir. I feel the same way. I mean, we're talking about a kid that was one of the top receivers in the nation, 6'5", 215 pounds, already NFL size. He had about 16 touchdowns this past year, about 1,400 yards. He's one of those players that can definitely take off the top of the defense. He's a great route runner for his size, so that wouldn't surprise me either. It's really just about how quickly he can learn the playbook. But with his talent, with his build, with his everything that he brings to the table, Ryan Grubb and Coach Jared Nix and Coach Kellen DeBoer, they're gonna have to find ways to get him on the field. I just don't think you can keep that type of talent off of the field. So he's definitely gonna be on the field. It just depends on when. But I definitely agree with you that we'll definitely be hearing his name called. Derek Morgan is Derek Meadows is also a player that made a few catches last year, but going through those freshman woes, everybody just don't pop off the scene. How Ryan Williams did his freshman year, how Jeremiah Smith did at Ohio State his freshman year, but he has the build that he can be a red zone target. He can be somebody that you can depend on over the middle of the field and stuff like that. So he is also an interesting case that will be interesting to see how his development plays out in year 2. But I trust Coach Jared Nix to get the best 6 to 7 receivers out there. So that's going to be a competition. But it'll just be fun to see how all these camp battles play out. Like I said, obviously all eyes is going to be at the quarterback position. They're probably going to have national media at those practices just to see how Austin Mack, just to see how Keelan Russell, how both of those guys are performing. I mean, hopefully it doesn't take the entire offseason for one to rise above the rest, because we saw how dragged out the quarterback position was dragged out last year. I mean, it was a far-gone conclusion that Ty Simpson will win the starting quarterback job, but Keelan Russell, for what it's worth, he had a lot of talent. It was just about him getting everything upstairs mentally so he could develop. But in year 2. I definitely think he can develop. Austin Mack, his being his 4th year in the system, it's just going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And like I said, the offensive line, that's always going to be a talk of discussion.
Yes.
Alabama is known for having a stone offensive line, but last year we did not see that. So, that's going to be one of the top discussions talked about, who starts. I mean, obviously, Michael Carroll is slated to start. He's the only returning starter. I mean, then you got Racing Delegati at center. I think he's going to start at center. Then you got Caden Strayhorn. He could start at left guard. You got Tay Haywood. He could start at tackle, or it could be Javen James from Mississippi State. I mean, then we got Nick Brooks from Texas. I mean, it's just a lot. It's a lot of ways they can go. So,
you win ball games in the trenches. That's for sure. And we didn't win a lot. We lost because we didn't win in the trenches, obviously, in 2025. That was one of the main reasons, of course. But, I do believe 2026 can be a better season, primarily because of like the passing game. And I think we'll be all right in the trenches on offensive line. It's going to be way better than it was in 2025. That I do believe for a fact. And I think Ryan Williams has definitely learned from his mistakes from 2025, my bad.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it's just going to be a good thing overall, just having that new energy in the offensive line room of Coach Adrian Clem, who's been successful everywhere he's gone. We've already broken down his track record in various ways, just how everywhere he's been, specifically at Oregon, specifically with the Pittsburgh Steelers, specifically with UCLA, even at SMU, his units allowed the least amount of sacks. Literally, I mean, I saw when he was at Oregon, he had the least amount of sacks in the nation. He took that same talent to the NFL, had the least amount of sacks in Pittsburgh, in the NFL at all 32 teams. So it's only bound to get better, but those are going to be the mainstream battles. Like I said, offensive line and quarterback. But then you got your other battles, like I said, off-ball linebacker, running back, and wide receiver. Those positions have to hit as well. Those positions are arguably just as important. So those can either sink or help. Those can either help the Crimson Tide ship sink or swim in 2026. So that's why I pointed them out, and that's why I'm going to be there this spring just to be checking it out with my own eyes, hoping that we could just get some early indication on who's doing what's looking like what. And when we get that indication, we'll be happy to share it with you here at the Alabama channel on the Voice of College Football. But yeah, it's a lot of interesting. It's a lot of intrigue with this 2020-26 Alabama football team. But a lot of these problems are good problems to have. It just depends on how they shake out. That's really all it is.
There we go. And we've got a lot of people in the chat coming in here tonight. Ken, the Bama fan, giving out a Roll Tide. Roll Tide to you too, Ken.
Roll Tide, Ken.
Friend of the channel, Pit Snipe Husker, giving out a Roll Tide. We give out a Roll Tide at a Go Huskers. Here's to a better season for Nebraska 2026. I've got a good feeling they can have a better season in 2026.
Yeah, Pip Snipe Husker, Roll Tide. Wishing the Corn Huskers the best as well in 2026. Also, I appreciate you for that birthday shout out, man. Definitely appreciate you just sending me that love, tuning in to our show, dropping those comments, continuing to be an avid listener to our show. We definitely appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it, me here personally. So thank you.
We appreciate you very much, Pit Snipe Husker. We appreciate a lot of you coming in the chat. And we especially appreciate friend of the channel, Michigander, coming in the chat saying, "What's up, Jats? What's up, Michigander?" And
what's up, Michigander? How y'all doing over there on the Ann Arbor? How y'all doing, man?
Oh, they're happy right now because like Michigan's #1 in college basketball, man. Like I'm still amazed that we got some pretty awesome non-conference games, college basketball, in the month of February. I was like, because we had something like that in 2005 and 2011, but then I think there's like this 10-year gap where we weren't having top non-conference games of college basketball unless there's like Big 12 SEC challenges. But now like that's kind of gone away because I think that's like SEC ACC challenge now. Not sure, but I know that Michigan Duke are playing on Saturday. That's going to be a fun one right there.
Yeah, most definitely. A lot of intriguing matchups in the world of college basketball. A lot of stuff that's going to shape how these teams are seeded in the month of March for March Madness. Hopefully, Alabama can continue their winning ways. They just got their last win over South Carolina, then got that other win over Ole Miss. So they're climbing up the SEC rankings. I think they got about 6 consecutive wins in a row. So hopefully, Coach Nate Oates in that group can continue their success as they continue to climb through February and build for March.
Man, like just whatever the basketball guys need to be doing, don't pair Alabama up with Florida. I've had enough of getting smacked down by Florida. They'll chomp you up big time.
Man, I don't even want to talk about that game. That game's still fresh on my mind from a couple weeks ago. I mean, obviously, Alabama didn't have it fundamentally. Florida, that's basically what they beat them on, fundamentals, beating them on the inside, scoring 72 points in the paint. So, obviously Alabama's going to have to get that cleaned up by March. But I have faith in Coach Nate Oates that they can find some answers to alleviate some of those problems. But, it's just going to be interesting to see how this college basketball season plays out as we grow closer to March. Like you said, there's a lot of key matchups, a lot of marquee matchups in the land of college basketball. So I just can't wait to see it.
Oh, man. It's going to be amazing seeing what happens. I want to see another huge March run for sure. I want to see another huge March run, but I'm just we'll see. We'll just let these play out. I do want to see Bama beat Auburn again in college basketball.
Oh, we're going to see that again, man. Don't worry about that. We're going to see it again. They've been talking so much. We'll see it again. I ain't even.
I'm ready to see the snot-nosed son of Bruce Pearl, Stephen Pearl, see his Auburn team get blasted by Bama. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, man. It's going to happen, man. We ain't even got to speak on it too much. Coach Nate Oates and the boys got them circled on the calendar, so we'll definitely see it.
Oh, here we go. And we've got the YouTube memberships of Alabama at the Voice College Football, where you can become a channel member for each of these 3 tiers for $2.99 a month. You can become a Crimson Faithful member, where you'll have a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments in the live chat, custom emojis to use in the comments in the live chat, and you get member shout-outs. For $4.99 a month, you can become a Saber Disciple, where you'll have priority replies to comments and access to monthly hangout from yours truly, Jackson Johnson, Jeffrey Only Taught Sports, and Travion Ware. And for $9.99 a month, you can become a Bear Bryant Legend, where you can connect on social media with each of us and give out content requests of any kind. And neither rain nor sleet nor snow nor the weird weather of Alabama will put a stop to us from fulfilling your content request. All right here on Alabama at the Voice of College Football. But we do want to mention for a little bit, just talk about Lassier Brooks, because last night we heard he got in a car accident, but luckily he is doing more than awesome. He is doing all right.
Thank God. Yeah, thank God. Definitely was a scary moment for all Crimson Tide fans. Even if you're not a Crimson Tide fan, you just hope for the health and safety of this young man. Obviously, seeing him have a productive 2020-25 freshman season. He was in a car wreck last night. He had a neck brace on his neck, but a lot of reports are saying that's for precautionary reasons. He was able to take a picture on his Instagram, and he was able to show that he was all right. So, just hoping that, he can recover soon. I mean, obviously spring ball starts in March, so that's definitely going to be his goal, I'd say. So just happy that everything worked out, that there was nobody was hurt seriously. And, these college kids can always get new cars and stuff like that with the money that they have through NIL and stuff like that. So, anything that was lost of value, it can be replaced. So, we're just happy that nothing serious happened with Lassier Brooks and everything is okay, and he can rest up well throughout the remainder of this offseason as he gets ready to take on his sophomore season. But scary moment, but we can all relax, we can breathe. The young man is okay, so we're good.
There we go. And matter of fact, here's another good story that we can update you with. So, as you know, this Saturday was Valentine's Day, but freshman running back Xavier Crowell purchased a Valentine's Day gift for his mother, a new car. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh man, that's amazing, man. Like I said, these kids and this NIL money, that's crazy. But to be able to do that for your loved ones, that's amazing. I mean, I think about me, my birthday was today and stuff like that. And I just think about like, dang, that kid is probably 18, 17 years old. He has already done more for his mom than I could try to do. I mean, obviously I'm still working at that. I mean, you never compare yourself to nobody, but still the same. That's just good to see a young man like that be able to give back to his source, somebody that supported him throughout his football journey, throughout his life, and be able to reward her. So definitely happy to see stuff like that all the time.
There we go. And of course, we saw some news about Kerrigan Johnson departing Alabama after quite a few years, but we got somebody that replaced him. And this guy is from the Arizona Cardinals and Georgia Tech. Give it up for Stephen Weiss, as he is now the executive director of recruiting for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yeah, that to see Alabama work so quickly. I mean, obviously, Miss Kerrigan did a great job during her time at Alabama. She was one of the unsung heroes in personnel that helped with some of these player relationships and stuff like that. But to get a talent like the one that we got today, I mean, I definitely think that's another step in the right direction for Kalen DeBoer, continuing to bring in people of value with high character that can have also the character, but also the resume on paper to show that they have been successful in other places. I mean, him in the NFL, he did some good things for the Arizona Cardinals. Played a big role in getting Marvin Harrison Jr. drafted to the Arizona Cardinals. Before Kyler Murray got hurt, Kyler Murray won Rookie of the Year. He had a hand in that as well. And then just his days back at Georgia Tech, building things up the way he did at Georgia Tech. Think he had a part in getting Hayes King to Georgia Tech as well. And you saw how that played out. He had them pretty competitive and stuff like that. So, they're getting somebody that has a good track record. I mean, track records are big for me. I always want to look back to see what the person did before they got here, and he was able to have success. So, wishing him that continued success here with Alabama. I mean, not that Kellen DeBoer needs any help recruiting. I mean, we just saw him reel in 2 consecutive top recruiting classes, but with the help of the gentleman that we got today, it can only get better. So I'm just excited to see Kellen DeBoer continuing to add people of value, people with good resumes, people in good standings, and continue to make this personnel, continue to make this coaching staff, continue to make the recruiting staff better. So it's only another win under the belt of Alabama in this offseason. So I'm definitely impressed with that hire as well.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, especially when you brought the fact that he brought Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the few bright spots of that team, like the Arizona Cardinals, I mean, they are going to be feeling the hurt. They thought they were feeling the hurt now. I feel like they're going to be really feeling the hurt without Stephen Weiss now. I mean, like, good Lord.
But hey, they lost. That's Alabama's game. So, I tend not to worry about it. I mean, we benefit from it. So I'm just excited to see what Mr. Rice can do in Tuscaloosa, putting his minds together with Kellen DeBoer, putting his minds together with Ryan Grubb, putting his mind together with Kane Warmack, the running backs coach, Coach Gillespie, secondary coach. I mean cornerbacks coach. Forgot his name. See, that's correct. I'm bad with names. I did good today with my names. I just forgot. Coach Mo Linguist. Coach Mo Linguist.
Yeah,
he was
Coach
coming.
Mo.
He was coming to me, bro. But yeah, I'm just excited to see him put his hands together with that circle, and with Courtney Morgan as well. That's definitely going to be a big thing for Alabama football as they continue to build out the rest of this team, build out the rest of the future with some of these future recruits that they are trying to bring in. We've talked relentlessly about the class of 2027 and how special that can be. And Wrights, he only adds to the value of what Alabama can show these kids as they look to get them to Tuscaloosa. So I'm just excited just about this addition, like I said.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And, it just feels like the rest of the 2020s decade is really going farther up for the Crimson Tide. Like, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, most definitely. I definitely like what Kellen DeBoer is trying to build. I mean, a lot of people going to have their reserved thoughts. They're going to have their reserved questions and stuff for him like that. But small moves like the moves he's made this offseason, getting a new AD, getting a new offensive line coach, getting a new tight end coach, things of that nature, and getting and handpicking his own people because, he inherited a lot when he took over for Nick Saban and stuff like that.
True.
A lot of people were saying, he held on to too long to some of those pieces. You got to ingratiate your own when you take over at a place like at Alabama. And now we're seeing him put more and more of his fingerprint on this Alabama football program in year 3. And I'm just excited to see how everything materializes.
And I think it's going to materialize really well for the Crimson Tide in 2026. And we'll definitely know more about it in the first 5 games of the season. We're going to see how it bodes well for the Crimson Tide in spring practice over the next few weeks. And we'll definitely see what'll be going on in the spring game as well.
Yeah, most definitely. With the spring practice starting next month, and the spring game being scheduled for April the 11th, it's definitely a lot of good things coming up for Alabama football. The off season is heating up. We just got to make it through these last couple of weeks. Obviously, the NFL Combine will help us with Alabama having 12 players at the NFL Combine invited, and seeing how each player is projected to pan out at the next level. That's going to help us. That's going to help us fill out the show. That's going to help us, going to help the fans as well stay engaged as well. Because, the offseason can be a quiet time, but Alabama always got something going on. So we're just excited just to see them continue just to build as a program, continue to move forward, and continue to gear up for the 2020-26 regular season.
True. And of course, we're only 201 days away until the 2026 season starts for the Crimson Tide. And also for our Michigan friends and our Nebraska friends in the chat as well. That's also saying countdown for them. Although it's 199 days until Colorado, Georgia Tech, 194 days until week 0.
Yeah, man, I'm just ready for week 0. I mean, obviously, I'm marking down, me personally, me and you, we were both marking down those days for Alabama football. And as we get through the month of February, we transform into these other months and stuff like that. But week 0, man, I'm just ready to see some football, man. We some football addicts over here, so we always looking just to see who is going to snap the ball next. So I'm just excited as we continue to move forward. We're getting out of some of the dark ages of the offseason. Of course, the transfer portal carried a lot of that weight during the month of January, the college football playoffs as well. Some of these expansion talks, some of these cancellation games, like, for example, Alabama and Ohio State still at the table deciding what they want to do and stuff like that. But it's still a lot going on this offseason, man. So we just got to be grateful for what we get, and we just got to continue just to watch. Before we know it, we're going to be talking about camp battles. I mean, we already talking about camp battles, but before we know it, we're going to be talking about other stuff as well. And Michigander chat chimed in again. He said, I always count down the days until the first conference media days. Man, I'm ready for that. They said,
I'm ready.
Yeah. He also continued by saying, when they happen, that means it'll yeah, you cut off. My bad. But I get the gist of what you were saying, Michigander. Conference media days kick off the season, and I'm excited to see what coaches have to say across the country. Yeah, man.
Same.
Yeah, man. Those media days are always a big telltale sign of what direction each football team are going. I mean, of course, you can't win there's no award won at media days, but it's just good to hear from the players and good to hear from the coaches and good to see how your football team is going to shape out across the country. I mean, even if it's not Alabama, it's still hearing those other coaches who might be on the schedule, who might not be on the schedule, it still could affect your team any other way. Whether that's, for example, Michigan with Michigander, it could just affect anybody. So especially with this day and age of college football and how these issues and how the landscape continues to move underneath our feet. So we're definitely excited for things like media day. I think the SEC media day is going to be in Tampa Bay, Florida, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Tampa Bay, Florida. That's correct. And the ACC media days are in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm looking at the Big Ten media days. That's July 28th through July 30th. I'm looking at the ACC media days for when they're going to be. Now, let me go ahead and take. Oh, come on. That's the wrong one. Come on. Let me take a look at it. Yeah, it's in Charlotte, North Carolina. And that's July 15th through 17th. The SEC Media Days, that is in July 20th through July 23rd. And the Big 12 Media Days 2026, let's go ahead and take a look when they'll be. They're going to be in July 7th and July 8th in Frisco, Texas.
Yeah, at the Star, of course. Jerry Jones always got to host something. So, like I said, it's just going to be interesting to see how each team, the team representatives, as far as players, how each coach talks, new coaches. Obviously, in the SEC, you got Lane Kiffin, you got Coach Summerall at Florida, you got help me out, Jackson. I know it's a lot of other new coaches.
We've got Pete Golding, Kirby Smart, our guy Caleb DeBoer, Alex Golish.
I was talking more so new coaches, but yeah, Alex Golish fits in that bowl as well. So it's gonna be it's a lot of new stuff going on around college football. So we'll be here to break it down though when we finally get to that day. When we finally get to those media days, we'll definitely be here to break it down. I mean, last year I went to the media days in Atlanta, Georgia at the College Football Hall of Fame. I'm hoping to go to the media day this year in Tampa Bay, Florida. Me and Jackson already been talking about it behind the scenes. We're just trying to see how stuff gonna play out credential wise and stuff like that. But we definitely ready to see what shakes out, and hopefully we can be there and we can talk about it and we can give you guys a 4-on-1.
Already getting the questions all prepared and practiced. Just kind of like preparing the questions, making sure it's all correct.
Mm-hmm.
Because like what you want to do, which I mean, I've never been to a media days, but I'll make sure to ask a question that makes the coach really think about the answer.
Yeah, most definitely. You always want to do that. I mean, I remember I went last year and I talked to like players. I like to make players think too. I mean, obviously last year the focus was Florida State. Obviously, Alabama did not win that game. We all know that. No need for me to go back memory lane. But there was a lot of interesting stuff said at those media days. Players were talking, and players say certain things, and those certain storylines carry over into the regular season. So just going to be interesting to see who you can get to say what. Obviously, we're not trying to trick nobody into saying anything negative or nothing like that. But players always have a tendency to talk, and that's the good thing about media days. Coaches as well, they talk, and what they say can materialize into storylines for week one. So we're just interested to see what is going to happen when we get down that road. But we are definitely getting close as we mark off each day. Obviously today, February 16th, tomorrow, February 17th. So, we only getting closer. We coming. We just got to get there, man. Just got to get there, man.
Oh, man. Can't wait for February to end, because then that means another month closer to football season. And then we get to the month of June. It's preseason magazine shopping time.
Yeah, man.
So you know it's college football season when the preseason magazines are at your local Publixes in Alabama for sure.
Yes, sir. Then they get to talking about who's going to be All-American, who's going to be first team, who's going to be second team, Heisman odds, stuff like that. Throat Award winner, stuff like that. Just Golden Arm, John Unitas Award, every award you can think of. They'll be getting ready to talk about it, and we'll be getting ready to break it down. So just can't wait, man. We almost at the dark ages of this off season. It's coming, man. It's coming.
Oh man, it's like it's like I thought today was a dark age, to tell you the truth, because it's like we've only got a couple college basketball games tonight. That's it, really. No football games, no baseball games, no NBA games due to All-Star break, and just only like 2-3 college basketball games. That's it. But well, we can get through that day. We can get through any day. That's for sure.
Yeah, most definitely, man. It's definitely a quiet time. I was looking for something to bet today, man. It's not a lot to bet, honestly, man. It's just not. I mean, you got some women's basketball going on, of course. You got some men's basketball going on, of course, but it's not the heavy hitters like you would want. But still some stuff going on. I had to tap into soccer today just to see what they was talking about. The MLS.
You're down bad if you're having to.
Man, I don't want to talk about it, man. But yeah, I definitely was. It's my birthday, man. I was trying to get some action, man. I just wanted some action. I just want something to play.
Oh man,
it's all good though, man. We almost through it. We almost through it. Super Bowl was last week, man. Super Bowl was last week. That was our last taste of football. So come
there
on,
you go. Well, there's always old highlights of NFL films to kind of keep us from boredom, and that ABA documentary on Amazon Prime. So it's like, there we go. Oh man!
Yeah, and then we got the Nick Saban documentary coming out this offseason as well with ESPN. I think they got like a 2-parter. No, I think it's a 6-episode series or something like that. I can't wait to watch that, man. It's a lot of stuff going on. I'm looking for anything football related. It's that bad. I love football. We love football, so we always looking for something. But we gonna find it, man. We gonna find it.
Well, we should definitely do some episode reviews for video clips on the Nick Saban documentary. That's for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. Chat, if you want to see us do some some episode reviews or any topic that we haven't covered that you want to see us discuss, feel free to drop a comment in the comments. And hit that like and comment and subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, you can tune in with our streaming partners at wherever you get your stream podcast from. We got Apple Music, we got Spotify, we got TikTok, we got Instagram, we got Twitter, and we got Twitter.
Amazon and iHeartRadio.
Yeah, I said Twitter. I mean X. Yeah, we got X, and obviously we're bringing it to you right now from YouTube, so we got that as well.
Oh man, I will say it's always a fun ride with all of you. All right here. Mondays and Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And then, of course, the Alabama Call-In Show, Thursdays at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. Well, Travion, what magic have you got cooking on Bama Hammer, good buddy?
Man, that's a good question, man. I mean, obviously today, I kind of enjoyed myself. I wasn't really thinking a lot. I mean, I put out a story this morning about Carmelo O'Neal, the FCS defensive back, 6'4", who they got from Mercer in the transfer portal. He was one of the quiet signings. He's going to be a player that can definitely be have a big role in the Alabama defense. As one of those players you can sub out and you won't lose cohesion on your defense, and he can be one of those players that can pick up the steam for Kane Warmack. But outside of that, I'm trying to think, man. There's a lot going on, man. I'm trying to see what angle I can write from, where I can flip something upside down that a lot of people haven't wrote about. I mean, I'm trying to be more original this offseason because that's how you stand out through originality and stuff like that. So I just got to go to my thinking board back there. I got to see what I can come up with. But I'm always coming up with something. I'm always writing like a maniac. If you want to check out some of the articles that I have already out, you can check me out on X at T1K. My bio to the links to my stories the links to my stories are in my bio. And If you don't do that, you can just scroll down. You will see my story from today on Carmelo O'Neal. You'll see various other stories. So definitely want to tap in and see what I got. I definitely got some more stuff cooking up here. I just gotta pull that creativity out of me, but I can do it. So definitely want to check me out on X at 201K, and I definitely would appreciate that. Feel free to follow if you haven't already, and thank you.
There you go. Tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers at Publix about the magic that Travion brings on T-Rare1K, on X/Twitter, and on Alabama at the Voice of College Football, and the magic that he writes on Bama Hammer at Fansided. Give him a follow, especially with his birthday being on today and the rest of birth week coming your way. And of course, you can check me out on SEC at the Voice of College Football, where I featured Brandon Olson from Locked On Gators to discuss the QB battle that's going on and what other position battles we need to look out for from the Florida Gators, and also just kind of like look out for what's going on, for the draft combine and how it affects Florida Gators. And there's a little smack talk about Lane Kiffin, of course. I won't spoil it too much though, but it was pretty fun. But it was pretty fun talking about how there are some players, matter of fact, that could very well benefit the Giants if the Giants get some of the SEC players that were listed by Chris Marler. But I can tell you that's a fun one all right there. And you can also check me out on Jackson Johnson 979, where I'm 2 episodes away from that magnificent number of 100. And I'm also 270 subs away from the magic number 1,000. And for more updates, what I've got going on SEC at the Voice of College Football, Alabama at the Voice of College Football, or the Jats Zone, check me out on Jats VOCFB on X/Twitter and on Instagram and Threads, Jackson Johnson 543908. And with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you never miss another video whatsoever. And we've got a powerful lineup with the rest of Monday night on the Voice of College Football Network with Tennessee Volunteers Live with Tucker Harlan and Jordan Binkley, Matthew Miller and Thomas Breesy on Texas Longhorns Live, the Center Smith with Chad Tierney Smith, and we conclude it with West Virginia Live with Shane Statmiller and Eric Sabb. I can tell you, that's always a fun ride. And of course, we will see you tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Central, right here on Alabama with the Voice of College Football, where we've got more notes all right here. And with that, we'll see you tomorrow, and roll Tide.
Good night, everybody.